Hello there. This year marks the 2 years since we got the i3. So in this video, just thought I'd do a little update on what we're thinking of it after 2 years. First off, styling. I still think it's looking pretty fresh. You wouldn't think it was a 10-year-old design. It's definitely eye-catching, especially with the doors like that. Ours is particularly eye-catching because we've got the custom seat covers on it. Dashboard still looks fresh and modern. The only slight drawback being it doesn't have a touchscreen, but it does have BMW's iDrive controller, which is easy to learn and pretty intuitive. Inside, the layout is pretty straightforward. It's got the little digital display for the driver with the speedo and the mileage and stuff. So we've covered 16 and a bit thousand miles, and we've averaged 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour over that time. This is a 2021 model, so it does have the larger center screen, which you can split and have your sat nav on part of it and something else displayed beside it. The first service is due after 2 years, so we got in touch with the salary sacrifice company who got us to take it to D&G Auto Care in Edinburgh. No idea what the cost was, as it's included in our monthly payment, but it was done and dusted in the day and they didn't find anything wrong with the car. And unlike our Q4, it's still on its original tyres. Above 20 miles per hour, tyre noise is all you can really hear. There's no pedestrian warning noise. But below 20, you get the cool spaceship noise. Inside, there's plenty of space in the front, but not so much in the rear. So I'm 6'5" and I weigh quite a bit. And there's plenty of space for me. There's not a huge amount of room in the rear seat behind me. Be fine for 2 adults and 2 kids. 4 adults is pushing it over a long distance. And definitely not 5, as there are only 4 seat belts. The handling is pretty good. It does ride reasonably firm, but it's not uncomfortable or harsh. And you will find the limits of the tyres fairly easily because they're pretty skinny. It does have good amount of power though, so when you want to overtake, you put your foot down, it does pick up and go pretty sharply. My claimed range was around about 190 miles when we got this, and it does regularly show 180 to 198 on the gasometer when it's charged to 100%. This is used for a commute that's part dual carriageway, bit in traffic, and partly in the city, and it suits that type of driving really well. The range does drop a bit though if you're sitting on the motorway for any distance. And the charging is limited to 50 kilowatts. Overall, we've been really pleased with the i3. It's done exactly what we needed to do. It's mostly used for commuting, popping to the shops and things. It can take 4 people when you need to. It doesn't have a huge amount of boot space, but if you fold the back seats down, there's a surprising amount of cargo space. It's also a very pleasing place to spend time. The doors are cool. The fact you can see the carbon fibre on the way in, and it's got the carbon fibre plastic roof. It all just feels pretty special. It's one of these cars that people are either going to love or hate. You're either going to think it looks cool and quirky, or you're going to hate the way it looks. You're going to totally get the door layout as making it slightly more practical than a normal 3-door car would be, or you're going to hate it because it's less practical than a 5-door. So it kind of splits opinion like that. We're definitely in the loving it camp. As a second car, it's been ideal for us. The Q4 taking over all the kind of family runs and stuff. It's been perfect as our little run around. I'm sure there'll be people who disagree, so feel free to comment below and let me know what you think of it. Anyway, that's all I've got for you in this video. Remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Catch you next time.